Alrighty, guys, welcome. I have the man himself, Christian Woodford, okay, sitting there. We're going to have a little chat today, a bit based around passion, okay. I'm super excited. Hopefully you guys are as well. I'm going to let Christian just introduce himself really quickly before we jump into it.
So first of all, thanks for having me, Josh. I appreciate it. For anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Christian Woodford. I'm the owner of Woodford Sports Science Consulting, which is a private performance centre for athletes of all levels, all ages and all sports. I started Woodford going on 8 years. So September 13th this year is 8 years I've been in business. I thought I would honestly be in business, I'll be fucking honest with you, probably 3 months, 6 months.
Yeah.
I would be happy to make $400 a week. And I remember in my first year, I exploded. I had this goal of being the Joe DeFranco of Australia. And if you know anything about my story, I've actually ended up going on his show. I've been to America. I'm actually personal friends with him now, which is kind of crazy to say because for me personally, when I started Woodford, I looked up towards the guys in the States because the private sector wasn't very well developed in terms of understanding athlete development, the reasons why we want to do athlete development in terms of athlete performance and reduction of injury. And I look towards the guys like Joe DeFranco, Mike Boyle, and it just so happens now that I've interviewed them both on my own show, Ask Woodford, which is on YouTube. And also I'm friends with Joe now, which is crazy to think. I started 8 years ago and I chipped away at it, and anything's possible with a bit of mindset. And if you really fucking want something, you've got to really work for it, especially in this industry. It doesn't happen like that. I'm sure, Josh, you can tell everyone that. Nothing in life is easy. It's hard. You got to work for it. But I've been lucky enough to work my ass off, take my time and chip away at it. Now I'm at this position where I can really do whatever I want now in terms of the world's my really oyster, really, with the position I'm in now. I've worked my ass off to get this. I have a platform now. It hasn't been easy. Most people get this and they think it's quite easy. It's not. You have to have a lot of passion. You've got to have a lot of love and care for what you do. So I'm lucky enough to, I said this to you before, Josh, I'm humbled where people message me from all around the world saying, I want to chat to you. And I still think I'm still that guy when I started at 25 years old. I'm now 34 this year, so I'm getting on.
Yeah, nice. And
that's my story, really. So, condensed.
Yeah. And like you said, like Joe DeFranco of Australia, and I know for myself, like that's how I view, and me even getting the opportunity to speak to you, like right now, like I'm trying to keep it under wraps as much as I can, but I'm a little fangirling right now a bit as well. So I'm having a great time.
That. I appreciate it. Listen, when I went and talked to Joe, I was stuttering. The first time I went to see Joe, I was stuttering because I was so... He's such a genuine person, and you always want, when you have an idol and someone you look up to, you just hope they're not a fuckwit. And I can be a fuckwit, but I'm a good person.
Yeah.
If you're in this fight with me, I always take interviews. I don't give a fuck how many fights you have. I always take interviews. As long as I know you're a good person, you don't fuck people over, and you haven't bagged me out before, I'm always willing to talk to people.
Yeah.
But when I first met Joe, it was, to meet him was unbelievable. And then to be friends with him now is kind of a bit surreal. But once again, anything's possible. You just have to put yourself out there. You can only get like you. You've got to ask the question. If you don't ask, you'll never get.
Exactly, yeah. I was like, I put it out there and I was like, man, this is going to be scary. But the worst he can say is either not reply or just say no. I'm like, all right, I'll be in the same position.
Well, when Kieran, my PA, shout out to my Kieran, my best friend and my operations manager and my PA, she said, read out what you wrote to me, because I don't have any social media anymore. I do have social media, but I don't read any of my social media because it mentally gets me a bit nuts. I don't do that anymore, man. Over time, I think it wore me. Last year was a hard year for me, so we took that all away from me, and I've been a lot better now.
Yeah.
I don't need to do it anymore, like all that shit. That's what I've got Kieran for. And when she read out the message you wrote, I really appreciate that message. It was nice.
Yep.
So anything I can give back and help any community out, I'm willing to do.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks. And I guess to start us off and to kickstart us and get the ball rolling, I just kind of really want to dive into and see and talk about, I guess, obviously your passion is huge for the industry. And like you said, like it's not an easy place to develop something amazing. People think it is from the outside. They go, oh, being a PT or owning a gym is so easy, must be the best job. But it is very tough. There are a lot of obstacles to overcome. And I find like if you don't have that passion, if you don't have that desire to actually help people, you're not going to survive. So I guess to start us off with, I would love to kind of get your take or your little insight into where did your passion start from, and where did it kind of the start of your journey and everything like that?
Yeah, I think it started when I was younger, when I played cricket and football. So if you're watching this from your overseas and you don't understand what football could be, soccer could be. For me, it means Australian rules football. Just to clarify, so I played football and cricket growing up, and that was my passion. Was always sport. I always loved PE at school, and then I remember my sister coming home with a pamphlet for AIF, and this was in year 10 to do Cert 3 and 4. And I remember getting my first dumbbell set at 14. In year 10, I started to go, well, my passion is sport, my passion is training. I put both of them together, and I was always obsessed with understanding the body, the physiology, biomechanics, anatomy, all these training programming, all these fundamental ideas behind maximizing physical performance. I've always been obsessed with. And then I remember coming into year 10, 11, my parents asked me, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to train. And I didn't want to train athletes at the start. I didn't even know about training athletes until about year 12. And then I got into uni a year afterwards. I had a year where I did Cert 3 and 4. And then I got into uni my second year. But I just love training people, anyone, general population, fat loss, muscle gain, general health. I didn't give a fuck who it was. I just had a passion for that. And then as my passion developed and I started to, you always start general, it's the foundation, and then you get built up, then you become a specialist in the area you want. So happens I wanted to specialize in athlete development. And then from there, I started to understand, well, I want a better understanding on neuromuscular strength, power, speed development. So I kind of did exercise neuroscience in my honors. And then from there, I integrated all my honors with understanding how to maximize strength, power, speed in athletes, how to integrate that to reduce chance injury. So for me, my passion has always been training people in general. Couldn't give a fuck who it is, but just so happens that my area of interest is athlete development, introduction, and now, now it is rehab. So I do a lot of mid to end stage rehab, return to perform with a lot of athletes. ACL is my main one, lower back, hamstrings, hips, shoulders. We do a lot of that now. So but I started as a generalist. I worked at Genesis Gym. If you guys know Genesis, it's a big chain commercial gym. I worked there for 8 years, and I was just literally PTing. I literally PT'd. That's all I did. Nothing special. Kept it simple. Learned what worked, what didn't work. I built my name up, and then I went from there. It's not like I said straight away, fuck, I want to train athletes straight away. I built a resume as well. Like from there, I did a lot of free work experience at Football Federation Victoria, Oakley Chargers in the TAC Cup, number of different sports, Gridiron Australia, Gridiron Victoria, Victorian Institute of Sports. I did an internship there, and I was lucky enough to do an internship at Maryland University in the States.
Yeah,
that's how my passion really started kicking off when I was 24 years old. And I said, fuck this, I'm going to come back. I'm going to become the Joe DeFranco of Australia. I'm going to build a brand that people can look up to and say, these guys are the pinnacle. We want to become like him. We want to raise the standard. And that's what I wanted to do, was raise the standard, give clients, athletes, whoever you are, a higher level of service, because all I saw was people who just gave bullshit, sold bullshit, and all they did was marketed, didn't give anything back, took, didn't give anything of value to the industry, just fuck people over. I said, enough's enough. I'm going to stand up for what I believe in. If you don't like me, fuck off. If you do believe me, let's do this. And that's where it came from. And I just still am the same person. I think I've calmed down a little bit. I still can go a little bit. Like if I didn't like somebody in the industry, I'd let them know. But yeah, I'm kind of, listen, at the end of the day, man, I'm not going to fight my own kind. If you want better in the industry, I'm with you. If you don't want better, you want to fuck people over, I will call you out. That's how I've always been. And you need people like me in the industry to push things forward. You might not like me, but that's how it is. Some people like me, some people don't. I'm not really too concerned. I'm just concerned of making this industry better for everyone. Because if I can help more people live their dream and help through my dream, they can look up to me and say, fuck, I want to be like Woodford. I want to raise the standard, change the game. Well, we can do that because I've helped raise the profile. Everyone wins. That's how I said. And that's called legacy. And I want to look back at my life saying that I helped a lot of people. I wasn't the asshole who just kind of kept everything secret. Yeah. Fuck that. Let's be transparent. Let's be open, because there's no secrets in this industry. It's through hard work, dedication, and passion.
100%. And I think there's heaps of little nuggets. I could spend hours just going over everything. But I think the main thing that I really take from that is you're not jumping in. Like, you didn't just wake up one day and go, hey, I want to create a gym because, hey, there's money in it. Like, that's not where it came from. It started from sport. You're like, fuck, I just love being active. And then you're like, you know what, this would be pretty cool. Like, I'd love to help other people, and then start developing. And you go, you know what, I love doing this. There's a chance to develop a career from it. So let's see how we go. But again, like you said, like it's not as easy as I guess everyone thinks. And it's to a point, it's more hard because there are all those people in the industry that are so much about, let's just get the money. Don't care about the person on the other side. And it obviously, like you've talked about heaps, previous times, is it just bullshits the industry. It just waters it down, turns it into a negative thing from outside as well.
Well, if you just focusing on money, if money is your ultimate goal, you shouldn't be in this industry, number one. But number two, if you just focus on the money, you're looking at people literally as just an X and an O. You don't care about who they are as an individual, what their goals are. And that's not what our job is as, coaches and trainers. We need to get to know that individual, and you got to make them feel like, you actually give a flying fuck. You actually should care about their goals. But a lot of these people coming here, it's not about these goals. It's not about getting them the most effective and efficient program for them. It's a lot of bullshit, a lot of smoke and mirrors. Get their money. Who gives a fuck? Where I came in, I said, fuck it. I'm going to create a community. I'm going to create an environment that fosters change and betterment, but also high-level knowledge to get the most out of each individual person regardless of their goal. And you're not a number. It's not about the money. Money's important to live and survive, but the number one focus should be about the athlete-centered, results-driven approach. It's about the athlete, and that's fucking it. And if you're focused on the monetary value from that individual, you're fucked straight away because all you care about is their money. If you give a fuck about them getting them results, I fucking tell you, you're going to make a lot of money. Yeah. But the minute you start focusing on money, it's going to go the opposite way. I've seen that every time.
Yeah.
Because as long as you care and you give a fuck, I see this industry every time. The minute you show care and you give them something of value, I call it, they call it jab, jab, punch. So for me, when I started, I was giving away all this free information. A lot of people say to me, why are you giving away free information? You should be charging this information. The way I saw it was I was building a brand, a trustable, reliable brand that people can look towards and say, these guys are the best. When they give knowledge, it's the best knowledge. They're not bullshitting. They're not selling bullshit. They're giving high-level knowledge so we can get real-world results. So when I give free information, when I started selling my ebooks, my video series, people jump at it. People buy it because they go, this guy's trustworthy. I trust him. He's not a fucking liar. He's not a charlatan. He's not a snake oil salesman in the industry where a lot of people are. This guy actually gives a fuck. And I do, because if I didn't care, I didn't have to do this. I didn't have to be transparent, but I was, because I care. And I just want the industry to get better. So when I'm 60 and old, I can look back at my life and go, fuck, I made a difference. I helped a lot of people. We all did this together, and we can improve this. That's why. So that's a very good point, Josh. You have to care about your client and your athlete, and that's how you build a reputable brand. Very important.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I've noticed a lot as well with our gym that I guess we don't have the shiniest stuff. We don't have the best facility on paper. There's big gyms down the road that have everything that you could want. But I guess my view of everything was like, a squat rack's a squat rack. 100 kilos is always going to be 100 kilos.
100 kilos, yep.
But it's the way, I guess it's the community. And when someone comes in, if they feel like they're being heard and actually someone cares about them, like the gym down the road may not be doing that. And if they're not doing that, that's I guess the biggest thing. So I guess with Temporary Fitness, the gym that we've been running, that's the main thing I'm driving, going, all right, cool. One, what can I offer the clients? But then two, really just going, guys, what do you want in terms of developing? Where are you guys struggling? Because sometimes I think that they know stuff when they don't. I'm like, all right, cool. You don't know everything about nutrition. Okay, let's dive in and do this. And it's all about the value. Like you said, like if you can just come through the value and go, hey guys, I care about you, and not just saying it, but actually, I guess,
showing it.
And actually doing it. Then there's always going to be reward for that. But that's obviously secondary rather than going out going, okay, cool, how much money can I make? I'm just going to do A, B, and C rather than doing A to Z and then getting what they basically perceive as value from that and then bringing it in. So I think that's, I 100% agree with that. And I like the way you kind of, I guess, go through all of that. I guess the next thing as well, like you've been saying, like there's I followed your journey for a while. I think I found you maybe about 5 years ago, near the end of my university degree. I was doing a little bit of placement stuff, and some of the people in the gym were saying, "Oh, go check out Woodford. He does amazing stuff." And that's when I kind of jumped on. I was like, "Oh shit!" Like this.
They probably would have said that he's a Fruit Loop as well. He does amazing.
I think they said something along those lines as well. Like, go check him out. He's amazing, but he's a little crazy, or he's a little bit of a Fruit Loop. And I was like, "Oh, sweet, let's go." And I'm like, it's great information.
You got to be a bit nuts. You got to be nuts a little bit. You got to be a bit nuts to do with it. So
100%. To go through what we go through, you've got to be a little bit nuts in a little bit.
Correct.
In some way. But again, like your journey as well, like it hasn't been the easiest as anyone else's, but I guess you compared to everyone else's, your journey has been very transparent. And like you said, like 2019 was probably one of the toughest years for you. I've seen a lot of the videos you've put out regarding that, a lot of mental health stuff, a lot of just general issues. And I'd love to get how, because obviously like there was a point where you were saying like you don't know if you were coming back, and the gym and everything was it. And obviously from someone looking up to you and looking at that going, I was like, fuck, like that's disappointing to see that the issues that you've had to face have been that hard. And from my perspective, I'm like, okay, he's had to cop a lot of it because realistically you're in the spotlight always. So I'd love to hear kind of like how, and I guess from my perspective, I don't know if this is true or not, but the reason that you are back running the gym as well, Woodford 2.0, is because of that passion. You go, hey, like, I love doing what I do. So let's get this going again. And I'd love to hear how that really just drove and kind of helps you push through all the negative bullshit that can kind of sometimes be super overwhelming.
Yeah, I think that, yeah. So it all started probably, this has been 4 years coming, where I just took mental batterings consistently of my own. Like in this industry, it's people don't understand. They look at somebody, and when you put yourself out there and you believe in yourself so much, people are going to, it's called tall poppy syndrome. People just want to beat you down. In our industry, Josh, you know, it's tall poppy syndrome because there's no jobs. Everyone thinks they know better. And you got someone like me coming out and saying it such passionately, and I believe in myself. I believe in what I bring as I coach. When I say something, I say it with such conviction, and people don't like that who are insecure. So for so many years, I just got beaten down by people just who attack me, and they attack me not because of what I do and my methods and my strengths. And they attack me as a person because I'm very, I'm an easy target. I'm transparent. I don't lie, and I show my heart on my sleeve. And it's a lot. It's easier to throw stones than it is to actually go out and put yourself out there. And I did that for the benefit of the industry, to raise the profile and say, fuck, we are a profession like anyone else. It's about time we get treated like one instead of getting pushed around and beaten, like disrespected. And when I came out and said all these things, I said it to the betterment of the industry, to help people and help the industry grow and develop. So what I didn't realize at the time, my mental health was taking absolute battering. I never had anxiety before I started the business. I didn't know depression before I started this business. And as the business went on, yeah, it was great at the start, but as it went on, you get people in your life who aren't the right type of people. You get fucked over in business. I didn't get in this I didn't start Woodford for the money. I didn't start Woodford to be a business owner. I started to coach. And then all of a sudden it went from me coaching to dealing with all this bullshit, people backstabbing me, talking shit behind my back, copying all this abuse online for no reason, and being that I wanted to be the face of it. And because what people didn't understand, when I started Woodford and I used the word changing the game, all these people got annoyed at me. They're like, who the fuck's he to say he's changing the game? It's like, well, no one else is going to take fucking responsibility to change the industry. I waited for years. I was like, fuck this. I'll just be the man to do it. I'll put my hand up. I'll take responsibility to develop the industry. And everyone, you can either follow me or you can sit in the same fucking spot. And my thought process was, if you don't like me, you only like me because I'm coming out and saying things that you can't fucking say. Yes, I said, I'm going to be the fucking man to change it. And now I'm going to be the guy that people look up to. And if you don't fucking like it, you're just an insecure fuckboy and girl who just can't deal with it. Deal with the fact that I'm the man. And I said to it, I said this. I took responsibility for my fucking life. I put my hand up and said, fuck it. People are going to hate me. People are going to like me. Fuck it. Here I am. I am the man. I'm going to do this myself. And if you're going to fight, do it. And all these people, all these insecure people came after me because it's like, who the fuck are you to say you changed the game? What about him? What about him? I said, hey, all I'm saying is I have marketed heavily. before I came along, who was putting out videos on applied sports science, being transparent, like athlete X does a squat with this much and uses science and art? No one. No one's putting themselves out there. There was powerlifters doing it, but if you're a field court-based sport athlete, you're not a strength sport athlete, how can that fucking help you? No one gives a fuck about that. That's a sport within itself.
Yeah.
For our guys or for general population clients, we use strength training for health and fitness, athlete performance, reducing injury. Let's give a scientific reason and let's give an art behind it to combine as one. And that's where I came out and said, I'll be the guy to do this. Fuck it. I waited long enough for someone to develop the industry in the private sector. Fuck it. I'm going to do it. I looked up to Joe. I looked up to Mike Boyle. I ran with it. And I remember copping a fair bit of heat at the start, and nothing really got to me. Nothing really, like I was like Teflon. It didn't get to me. But then I reckon what happened, after years of doing this and a lot of years of mental build-up, I never dealt with this shit, which I was my own. You think about it, we deal with our clients' mental health, but we never work on our own mental health. Yeah. And this is a big issue in our industry right now, where we help clients with their health and fitness, with their mental health as well. What about our mental health, Josh? We don't look, as trainers and coaches, we don't look after our own mental health. And for me, it was a tipping point where it wasn't good for me. I'll be honest with you, I had enough of life, not just business life. I didn't want to do this anymore. Our term came up with our old gym, Woodford 1. I said, I'm not doing this anymore. I went away for 4 weeks, give or take 4 weeks, and I had tons of messages. I got messages from guys in pro sport. I got messages from guys in the private sector. I got messages from all around the world. It was very humbling. And I remember talking to my father and mum about it, and Kieran as well, who's a big help as well, who I wouldn't be here without their support. And they said, listen, whatever you do, we're with you on this. And my friend Brad, whatever you do, we're with you on this. We're going to stand tall, whatever you want to do. And I remember getting a lot of messages, but there was a few messages that really hit home. And the reason why I stayed in this industry is exactly because I truly love it. I can't see, there were just other external things that were affecting me, but I had to take a bit of time off and just to take a breath and to think, what do I really want in life? Is this something I really want still? I have created something special, but I'm willing to let it go because my mental health wasn't right. Yeah. When I came back, I really made a decision to say, I need to look after my mental health. I need to put things in place to really help me develop that side of my me as an individual, and really look after myself as mental health. So I came back, and I'm glad I came back because I'd be upsetting if I didn't come back, because I worked my ass off to get in this position. I've done 8 years of it nearly to get to this point. But I can say this is an ongoing process, Josh. I'm not 100%. Every day I work on it. It's something that I have to deal with for the rest of my life. And I know that. But I'm getting better at it. I'm a lot better than I was last year. Even Kieran can admit that. Sometimes I go off tangents in my life, but I'm a lot better. Even my face, everything's a lot better. I'm not as stressed as I was. I'm proud to say that I work on it. I see a psychologist. I take my meds. I'm okay. So I'm not as nutty as I was last year. So, yeah, I'm glad I'm here and talking to people like you. So it's fantastic.
Exactly. And again, you wouldn't go through, you wouldn't put yourself through what's basically put you in that position if you didn't care for it 100%. Like I said, if it was just for the money, you'd be out. You'd have been out last year, and you'd have been all right, cool, I'm done.
I would have been out 3 years ago. If it was for the money, I'd have been out 3 years ago. No,
whereas you're still here, and you're still, I guess, you're doing what you have to do so you can stay in it, and that's just showing, going, okay, cool, he's here for the right reasons. I don't think anyone could doubt that you weren't here for the right reasons, but it's just, again, just kind of walking the walk and backing up what you talk about as well. And then I guess, and like what you were saying before, I've had moments in my career as well when I've been like, you know what, just fuck it. Let's just go for it. And kind of definitely nowhere near in terms of as much backlash or as much pressure as what you've been, because obviously you're in the spotlight. But I remember especially because I kind of had a similar start to my career of owning a gym. I was PT for a long time. Quick little side note, did you ever train at Boot Camps Australia?
Yeah. So that was the first one I started, Sublease. Yeah, they gave me an opportunity.
Yeah. So I was training at Boot Camps Australia. All the members will know this because we actually, when they went under, we turned over one of their Bootcamp Australia gyms, the one in Brisbane, into our gym.
Shit, nice.
Yeah.
Is that where so you're in Brisbane?
Brisbane, yeah.
Oh, beautiful, man. Man, you know what? If I was ever going to move anywhere, it would be to Queensland. I've always said that. If I was going to move, I'd move to Queensland. You want to know why? Women, and it's hot.
Do you like the heat? I can't stand it. It's so hot.
Bullshit, really?
Yeah.
Ask Kieran. I say to Kieran all the time. I'm not joking to Josh. If I was to move anywhere, right now, Brisbane or Gold Coast, anywhere in Queensland. I'm willing to do anywhere in Queensland. I love Queensland. I love it. Women, beaches. Give me 5 more minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I've got Josh to hit me. And also, I'm willing to, I'll come up to your gym as well. I'll do, if you're okay with it, I'll come to a workshop. Where in Brisbane? Where in Brisbane?
Do you know where Tenerife is or New Farm?
I know work off Southport. You know Southport?
Do you know, we're like 5 minutes from Brisbane CBD.
Oh, yeah. I know where that. Yeah. Really, 5 minutes?
Yeah, or maybe even closer. Like, you know where the Valley is, where the next suburb over.
Yeah, wait, you knew the Valley?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm coming. I love the Valley.
We'll go out afterwards. It's great.
Yes.
Done. It's sorted.
Yeah. I've got 5 more minutes, Josh. Ask away. 5 more minutes.
Yeah. Sweet. So
my physio's kicking me out.
Yeah, nice. Nice. 5 more minutes, I guess. If I have one more question, I guess let's just jump straight into going with everything that's happening right now. Where do you see the fitness industry going after this? Like, do you see there being a lot more online stuff, or do you think everything's going to go back to normal? Or
big chain gyms are. I'm telling you right now. I talked to Joe DeFranco about this. Very interesting. Big chain gyms are all going to struggle now because people have probably worked out now, well, I don't need that $9.95 membership or $15.95 membership. They're all going to struggle. The big chain gyms are all fucked now, in my opinion. The small chain boutique gyms like yourself, like me, we're going to thrive. I promise you we're going to thrive because people are going to start going, listen, I want to get a program, but I've seen now that I really can train by myself. And because of this pandemic, people are going to be real worried now about training in big groups and if you've got a big gym and, all that stuff. But you and I, we can control our gym a lot more. We can clean a lot better. If you're in a big chain gym right now, they're huge, those big box gyms. A lot of cleaning, a lot of people in it at the same time. If you're in a if you're in a boutique gym like myself and you guys, it's a lot easier to clean it, a lot easier to upkeep it, and we can control who comes in and out. The big chain gyms, you can't really. And also, I don't know if you guys are doing it because we've done a little bit. We have an online platform. The online platforms, everyone's going to start to move towards a little bit more online. Yeah. I hate online. This is me, but my father, Kieran, all my back end staff, they love it. Yeah. I'm just the face of it, as they say. I'm not very smart with computers, but I hate it. I hate coaching online. I'm going to admit that. I have online athletes, but they know, I tell them, you and I got in this. Let's be honest. Yeah. If you're a coach or a trainer, we all got in this for the personal contact, to see someone move, to coach them up, to get that face-to-face coaching feel. It's not for fucking online. That's not to say online's not great, because it fucking is. It's a revenue, fantastic. Hey, we're online. We've got ebooks, online series, and that's where my business is going. Yeah. But for me personally, brother, I love coaching. I love that one-on-one aspect. That's not to say your business shouldn't be online. It should be. But at the same time, I think what's going to happen is a lot more businesses are going to shift to more online, and then what's going to happen from there is a lot more better understanding of what a role of a coach is, a trainer, the level needed to get results. Because you know what, every client, every gym should be athlete-centered or client-centered and results-driven. That should be the most important thing. Results is number one.
Yeah. So I know your time pressures, again, agree with everything you said. We have our online stuff and it's changing every day. We don't know exactly what it has to look like, but we're just doing what we can right now, delivering as much value to our clients. And again,
sorry, Josh, we can do part 2 tomorrow. I've got a lot more time tomorrow. If you're free tomorrow, I'll do part 2.
Yeah, we'll jump back on. We'll do part 2 tomorrow. But again, love what you were saying about online training and everything like that. Absolutely amazing. Yep. And that's kind of where we're trying to shift. We go, yeah, cool. It's not the one-on-one, which is what we love, and we get that community aspect, and we love to see everyone actually developing and see how they move. Because like you said, it's not like everyone's going to move slightly differently, and you're going to have to make tweaks for everyone so then they can do the right stuff safely. Yep. It's not this is exactly how you do it. It's, yeah, cool, this is the basics. Now what do we have to change so that it's perfect for you or great for you?
Slight modification for each individual and their body type, their previous injury history, their competency, all these stuff, like what you said, a slight modification. It shouldn't be generalised. Yeah, you can have it generalised as some crossover, but then you need to individualise it for each individual person, which is, I agree 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Like for example, I've got clients that squat well to depth, and I've got other clients that don't. And I'm like, and they say, oh, do I have to squat to depth? And I'm like, the amount of work we would have to do to get you to there compared to the results, like it just doesn't weigh up. Like you'll get the results that you need from doing that, and we can supplement other stuff in, and you'll be fine. But so before we get carried away and take too much more of your time, thank you again for jumping on. We'll organise a time for tomorrow. We'll do part 2 and have a fantastic.
And also, I'll come up. I'm going to come up to Brisbane to see you guys. I love Brisbane.
100%.
The Valley's my jam, man. I love the Valley. Valley, man.
I'll show you around.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I love the Valley. Get in contact with Kieran for part 2 tomorrow, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, buddy. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks, guys.